Hi everyone, I'm excited to show you this next episode where we're going to be texturing the rice terraces we made previously, and we're going to be doing it inside of Cinema 4D R26 using Redshift. Please let me know what you think, and please feel welcome to reach out with any questions or comments below, and if you enjoyed this, please hit like and subscribe. So here we are back in Cinema 4D, and we're going to make some materials for our terrain because right now it's pretty boring being gray. I mean, it actually looks kind of cool being gray, but that's not the look we're going for. We're making rice terraces. We're not making a landscape out of some gray clay, so we're going to adjust this. So under Terraform Terrain, you can select slope as your preview source. So we're under preview. Make sure you have slope selected instead of altitude, because we're going to be using the slope to control where the texture is using a material blender. Something that I'd like to show you is that you can actually choose a location if you click on this folder over here. So now I'm going to save this texture right here. And now we are going to create a new Redshift material. I'm going to double click on it. And you'll see things look a little bit different in R26 than R25, but it's okay. We're going to add in some more nodes, so I went under Create and hit Add Nodes, and in here I can search for the Material Blender, and it's right over here. Works the same as in the past. And I actually am going to need 2 Redshift materials because we're going to be building 2 textures, so I'm going to drag this while holding down Control to create a duplicate. And now we have 2 materials and a material blender. We want the area that is sloped steeply to be 1 Redshift material, and then we want the other area to be a different Redshift material. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the Terraform Terrain slope that we just created into the node editor. And now you'll see this output color, and it's a black and white map with our slope. So I want to use this to control the material blender and the blend color. So we'll drag that in there. One of these is going to be a green color. So I'll just make a green color for right now for one of these, and we can always adjust this some more later. This one can be brown. So I'm liking that color. I'm going to up the reflection roughness. In here. And now the next step that I'd like to do is I'd like to drag this over into our base color. And we'll make sure if I have this dragged into the right place. We might need to swap these around, and that's okay. I'll make sure that the material blender is dragged to the surface. And then the green color is going to be, the brown color is going to be dragged into our layer 1. When I hit start IPR, and yours might be listed under Redshift because I just dragged this up here by holding these dots and dragged it up here. But you'll see now that we have green on the flat surface and brown on the sloped surface, which is what we want. I'm going to go ahead and add in a dome light. Or maybe we'll use a Redshift sun and sky rig because that'll be fun. So here's our sun and sky rig. I covered this in a past tutorial, so if you're interested in learning more about the sun and sky rig for Redshift, you can check that out. I'll leave a link to it below if you want to learn some more about it. But for those who have already seen it, I don't want to be repeating myself. And this is really great to be able to see a preview inside of your viewport. That used to have to be in a separate window. I'm going to turn that off for right now, but you can see our sky showing up and you can see the texture that we had created there. And this is the basic setup for if you want to control where each Redshift material is showing up on your landscape. You can use this Terraform terrain slope texture, and that's how you do it. Right now it doesn't have as much texture as I would like, so I'm going to hit create, add nodes, and I'm going to look for a noise. But I like using the max on noise, so I'm going to drop the max on noise into here, drag it on over, and I'm going to add this to the overall bump map. So we're going to use this as the overall bump map for each one of these textures. Give us a nice bumpy texture. And now I will go ahead and hit start IPR. I'll give us a preview of our bump. And you can see that there's a little bit more of that bumpy texture showing up in there, which is good. That's exactly what we want. It's a little bit big to me. So if we have our max on noise selected, you'll see in your attributes manager that you have some control over the octaves in the noise, the seed, the color. The seed is basically what the randomness is of the noise. You can choose your noise type by clicking this arrow over here. You can also choose the number of octaves you'd want. It works similar as the noise for Terraform terrain. The number of octaves affects the detail of the noise, so you can affect that through that setting there. I'd like to affect the scale of the noise, so if I click on this arrow next to input and scroll down, you'll see the overall scale. And I can reduce this from 1 to something like 0.6 if I'd like. And then you'll see this updates very nicely. And actually, this has grown on me a little bit, so I'm going to keep it as it is. So that pretty much wraps up today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, don't feel shy. You can ask me in the comments below. Let me know what you thought. And in the next episode, I'm going to be showing how to create fog and some clouds. So I really hope you enjoy that. And I look forward to sharing the next episode with you. See you next time.